For crypto. I'm your host, DZ, and I forgot how to talk, everybody, because the Fed has me so pissed. They're about to make the worst mistake since 1929. What happened in 1929, TJ?
Great Depression?
The Great Depression. And this time we're not blaming dust, okay? It's not going to be the dust's fault. It's going to be the Fed's fault. It's going to be the money printing fault. It's going to be the people that are in charge of handling our economy, steering it in a direction that doesn't lead us off a cliff. We have them to blame. We got some bold predictions on what's going to happen with the Fed cuts today. And we're going to look at some history, what happened in the past with the Fed cuts. And then I have the number one thing that is going to predict Bitcoin's price action over the next week. We're going to look at that as well. And I got some numbers for you. I got some lines. I got some charts. We're going to have some exit entry points. We're going to have all that, folks. Thank you for joining. Hit that like button. TJ, I forgot how to talk, man. I'm just so heated right now. I'm almost sweating. How are you doing, though?
I'm feeling good. I mean, today's a big day, something we've all been waiting for a long time. It's a guaranteed Fed pivot day. So we know they're going to pivot. It's just a matter of what the cut looks like. And a lot, I think I was reading about it this morning. It says this is the most uncertainty we've ever had around a Fed meeting, ever.
Woo, yes,
or at
that
least
is
in
right.
a very, very long time.
Yeah, normally the people are like, everybody's kind of on the same page. It's all going to be 25 pump or 25 cut or a 50 basis pump or a cut or flat. This time the market is divided. We haven't seen this. We don't see it that often. And so the market is going to be very, very volatile today. They have their remarks starting at 2 p.m. It's going to be a lot of eyes are going to be on that. The market's going to be watching that. Bitcoin's price is going to be very volatile. Stock market's going to be volatile. Gold is going to be volatile. We're going to look at gold. What happened in the past with gold? What happened with the rate cuts last time, 2019? What happened with the rate cuts, 2008? Can gold give us any kind of blueprint for what Bitcoin is going to do for Q3 and the rest of Q4 here? What time is the Fed meeting again? It is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Someone said, hello, Cardano boy. TJ, my post on should I make a Cardano versus Solana video got a little bit of heat, got a little bit of traction.
Yeah.
So we got a Cardano versus Solana video coming out this evening. So if you want to know, should I sell my Solana or Cardano? Turn on those notifications. It really helps us. We share my screen here on X, working on the video. 14,000 views, 129 comments. Everybody's freaking out on this. Then I had a little snake post here. But you know what I was mad about? No one likes my tungsten here. But there's a very funny comment from one of the viewers I want to share. Benny Blue Eyes here. My fiance thinks my tongue's a 10. That was so good. I just had to share it, everyone. All right, let's look at the markets. I want to hit refresh. The market is getting a little bit of some bullish action here in the last hour. Bitcoin is still down, however. It is down 0.7%. We have Ethereum down 1.9%. Solana dumping 4%. And Cardano only fell 2%. And maybe it was time to sell that Solana for Cardano there. You have a little bit of a price swing here. BNB down just a little bit. XRP also down about 4%. Doge holding stronger than its peers. It is only down 0.6%. Toncoin also doing okay. It is only down 0.3% on this red day. We do have some green coins. It might be the next video I'm working on. SWI. Do you think SWI could be the next Solana, TJ?
Yeah, it might even potentially be better than Solana in some ways. As far as like it's got a similar amount of speed. I know they just announced that Circle stuff that could be big. So from a value standpoint, yeah, I absolutely think it could be.
Yes, we just they onboarded USDC, like you said. Maybe we have to look at the past to see what happens when a strong coin with a strong community and strong development behind it. What happens when USDC is added? Because I can go back years. I can look at Polygon in 2020. I can look at Near 2023. Maybe another altcoin or two that's similar to SWI. Do they pump or do they dump after USDC? Is it buy the rumor, sell the news? Or is it go ahead and jump on this rocket ship because we still have to leave out of orbit? And so, I might have to work on that one. All right, let's look at the biggest pumpers in the market. Is there anything that is green? Something that would be sweet if it was pumping, and it is SWI. SWI is up 2.6%, but also Nervos Network is up 6.2. Look at Nervos on the 1 week here. It's up 100%. I don't know if we have any holders in the chat here. We also have an AI little pump here. The FET token is on the way up here. We talk about AGIX as well. I wonder if AGIX has got a good move. It is flat, but it might be trying to get into the...
Well, no, it is Now they're the ASI. That's all.
Yeah.
That is all merged together.
Yes, it is. But you can still, there is still some trading pairs. You still got a little bit of time. Let's look at the biggest losers, but I need everyone to hit the like button. Otherwise, your portfolio is going to match this 1-to-1 ratio.
Today's a big day in the market, guys. We've got almost 1,000 people in here already, only 140 likes. So smash those likes up. Today is a 420 like day for sure.
I love it. I know we can do that. The biggest loser, it is Immutable X, but that was the biggest pumper yesterday. So it's pulling back a lot of the gains. It is still green for the week. Helium is down. If you're holding some helium, your voice might be a little high right now. You're like, why is this happening? Maker is down 6.3%. Said, you know what? I say I'm not like Sui. And now they're starting to finally break apart here. We're seeing a green day for Sui and a red day for Say. Aave, very strong pullback. It is down 6% as well. And then we have some meme coins falling. Pepe holders, they're in shambles. Brett, have you ever known a Brett?
Like in person? Like
in person.
A person in Brett? I think I knew one when I was a kid.
How come every Brett I've ever met is shady? Yeah, I'm saying if your name's Brett and you're watching, you're shady. Maybe not. I don't know. Have you ever met a non-shady Brett?
I to be honest, I think now that you asked, I think I've only met that one, didn't know him really well. It was like a friend of a friend, acquaintance kind of thing. I don't think I've met very many
Brett's the type of guy that'll steal your lighter. Brett's the type of guy that'll wear a silver chain. What I don't know what type of guy Brett is, but yeah, Brett, I don't know.
I feel like he's the guy that might steal your lighter and also steal your girlfriend. Like he's one of those, like he's not necessarily like he looks slick, I guess is the play. Kind of like a car salesman kind of style or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know unless they have a mullet. I guess a Brett with a mullet could be cool. All right, let's the markets are moving. We're going to get into some of the lines here. I've circled these two things here and it's very important. We're going to look at that in a second. Also, I'm looking at gold interest rate cuts all the way back in 2008. We basically gone back 50 years. We're going to look at that as well. But let's kind of talk about what's happening with the Fed markets. Then we'll go back to these charts here because it's very compelling. So traders brace for the least predictable Fed pivot in years, or the Fed meeting in years here.
Go out one more. Yeah, well.
Yeah, sometimes you zoom in and then it like zooms out, and then you zoom out. It's like zooming in. This is good. We're good. The viewers are good. The viewers are happy here. Traders in the global markets are facing extraordinary uncertainty as they wait the Fed's expected rate cut today at 2 p.m., setting up the markets for a burst of volatility. Major brokerages expect the Fed to lower interest rates by 25 basis points at the end of its meeting, even as the markets price in a good chance that we're getting a 50 basis point reduction here. Fed fund futures, which reflect the market's expectations, have rallied to push the chance to 50 basis points cut to 61%. Just a week ago, it was only 30%. So the odds are increasing here. It is very rare that you have the market divided on Fed action mere hours before the event, according to George Bory, chief investment strategist for Allspring. While the Fed decision often moves the markets, a relatively even divide between the traders expecting 25 basis points versus 50 basis points make it likely that no matter what happens, traders, many of them, are going to be taken by surprise. No one is quite sure. This is according to Deutsche Bank analysis here. No one is quite sure. People have landed on different estimates, guesstimates, if you will, and right about half of those people are going to be wrong, according to the researcher at StoneX. And so they're going to have to adjust their positions one way or another. We're going to see some pretty big moves in the market. We're going to get a ripple effect. Calm down, XRP holders. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about throwing a rock in the pond. Asset classes from stocks, currencies, and fixed income could all log swings in the immediate aftermath of the decision. Stock options are pricing about a 1.1% swing in either direction, which is pretty big for the stock market. And the recent rally, you can see the S&P has advanced 7 straight sessions or trading days, leave stocks ill-placed to deal with disappointment in the case of a smaller cut. So we got 7 straight trading days in the green, meaning it's going to be looking for a cool down. This does increase the odds that we're going to get a little bit of pullback in the stock market here. What are your thoughts on the 25.50? If you just had to throw out a guess, of course, no one knows for sure unless you're Gary Gensler's nephew or his twin brother. I'm leaning towards 50.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's just what my gut says.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's at this point, that's pretty much all you can go with. I mean, like I said at the start of the show, it's the most uncertain we've ever had, most uncertainty we've ever had going into a Fed meeting. I'm sticking with 25, so you're on 50. I think the odds are like 60 something percent, 50 basis points at this point. But I don't know if you've got it up there, but I read a thing today that said odds and markets are pricing in a 50% basis cut. But economists, when polled,
we're gonna look at that as well. The odds, the people in the street, they're coming in a lot different than the people that show up to Wall Street every day and are wearing suits.
So
going up to those
I'm
top
sticking
floors.
with my 25 basis points. I think we will see 25 basis points for the next several meetings upcoming. I can understand the logic behind, hey, let's start with 50 and then do 25 for the rest. But I think they systematically went up with it. They did it quickly in several meetings. I think they're going to do the same thing going the other direction.
Where are we at on likes?
245.
All right, let's get up to 300, and then we're going to dive into the charts and look at Bitcoin in the past when there were rate cuts and gold in the past when there were rate cuts. What can we expect from that?
Yeah, let us know in the chat. I see a few people coming in, a lot of people saying 25 basis points, 0.25.
I see some people saying Brett's going after J Powell's wife.
Oh.
That Brett, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of comments about people that knew different Bretts over the years. It seems like people are bearish on Bretts.
Bearish on
IRL.
Bretts for sure, man. I hate to hear it. There's a Brett watching right now like, you know what? I'm hitting the thumbs down on you guys. I apologize to all the Bretts here. All right, here we have ecoin metrics, but there's an O in there, so it's like ecoinometrics. Ecoinometrics. They're saying headline inflation has dropped significantly year on year. However, core inflation isn't following suit. It's actually ticking up again. Is this a problem for the Feds? Not really. Why? Super core inflation is down. They keep inventing all these new words.
Super cool.
Inventing all these new terms. Inventing new definitions for words that already had established definitions, like a recession, meaning 2 quarters of GDP decline. Super core inflation is mainly driven by the services sector, where inflation has been deeply rooted for a long time. This is good news for all. TJ, besides groceries, what is the thing hurting Americans and hurting citizens across the globe more than anything besides maybe food costs?
I mean, one thing that's hammering people I know is car insurance. That's gone up crazy amount, like 100% or something.
Car
like
insurance.
That.
What's more expensive than car insurance hurting people right now?
Housing.
Housing. So they have this new term, super core inflation. It sounds like a Gundam fighter, like about to join forces. Super core. Well, I looked up the heck is super core. According to Wall Street Journal, super core inflation comprises the price of services like barbers, lawyers, plumbers, excludes energy and housing. And so they're looking at the super core inflation. So one of the worst things that we've experienced price-wise is inflation on housing prices, rent or home prices. And so, of course, they have to remove that. So then they could talk about super core inflation here. So super core inflation is down. Oh, yeah, basically removing the number one driver of people's pocket, which is their rent price or their mortgage. Super core is mainly driven by services. So this is good news overall. So core inflation is up year over year here. So we're seeing some bad economic data. Zero Hedge saying it's not just record uncertainty, it's also record disconnect. And this is what you were talking about, TJ. Markets price in 66% odds of 50 basis points. We saw the other thing that said 61%. So above 60% odds for 50 basis points. This is the most uncertain spread in over 15 years. Economists, of the 114 polled, only 9 expect a 50 basis point rate cut there. So 105 see 25 there. So most all of them are seeing 25 basis points. Only 8% are expecting 50. But you ask the markets, 66%. So we got 8% of these economists, but the market's 66%. We're seeing a huge divide here. Where are we at on likes?
307. Ready
All
for
right, let's get into the charts here. Should we do? We're going to do Bitcoin. Then we're going to look at gold. First, I want to give you a warning. A lot of people, you're going to hear some articles. They're going to say 64. We're going to look at something saying, we might pump up to 64. Some people are going to say we're going to pump up to 68, 69. I don't know about that. But I want to give you a little bit of a warning here. We're seeing something, what I like to call one of my favorite indicators, the bear divs and the bull divs. This is a bearish divergence. Now, yes, I'm measuring the wicks here. This on the 4-hour candles. So you see the price went slightly higher, wicked a little higher, but the relative strength index went down. Well, we can see what happened last time. We can look right here. You can see, all right, we wicked slightly higher, and the candle bodies are definitely going a little higher here. However, look at this, the RSI heading down. What ended up happening to Bitcoin's price from this peak here? Very, very short amount of time, 2 days, fell 10%, fell even more I'm like, what's going on here? Let me move this. Fell even more, fell 20% in less than 2 weeks here.
And that's the bottom of that chart. What's that number there? Is that 50?
This wick right here, 52,489. I don't know. Can you see the numbers here?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see that. Some people probably can, but
you're getting old, man.
Yeah.
You're getting old. That's what happens to all of us.
So let me ask you this. Is the scenario potentially that you're considering, like we're sitting at 59 right now? Is that what it says behind you? Like 59.5? Say we're sitting in that same range going into the Fed meeting. Say they come out, do 25 basis points. Everybody's hoping for 50. There's a little disappointment that it's not 50. We potentially we pumped into this, as we've seen, the last couple days, and we kind of pull back down into the mid 50s, low 50s. Is that kind of what you think might happen?
You know what? I would say the thing that Bitcoin has been respecting the strongest lately is this range. And so I think, we're going to have bullish sentiments. We're going to have bearish sentiments. I do think, we're going to reject or we're going to bounce. We're going to bounce if we hit this line. We're going to reject if we hit this line. I do know we're going to fall out of the range, but, no one, I mean, as of now, we're respecting the range. So we got to say we're going to continue to respect the range.
What are the odds that we're like dead center of the range when we're at the most uncertain, kind of 50-50 odds on what the rate cut would be? I mean, it's pretty remarkable that we're right in the middle of this range at this extremely pivotal time. I mean, it's just crazy how charts end up matching up so well with markets.
Yeah, and Brett is a wild maniac. He does think, 30K in a bull market. I don't see we hitting 30K in a bull market here. But I did say I want to look at the Fed rate cuts in the past. And I have a prediction on what's going to happen with Bitcoin. But I want to share that this isn't really going to be based off the Fed rate cut. So I went back and I looked at what was the previous rate cuts here. And folks, what I saw really didn't tell me much of anything. Here we have some rate cuts. We had 3 cuts, all 25 points, I believe. And this Fed rate cut, this is 3-day chart, led to a pump. This one led to a dump. And this one led to a scam pump followed by a dump. So we really can't say, the market's told us anything or history gave us any kind of indication. We got to go way, way back to see, more rate cuts. And in fact, we got to go to gold. We got to go to gold.
2007? Is that right?
It was 08. It was 08. So if we look at what happened recently with gold here, gold with the recent rate cuts basically told us the same stuff. We can look at, this is the 2020 cuts. 2020, we ended up getting a cut, continue to dump. That cut led to a pump. This was 100 basis points. No one expected 100. And so when we came in with a larger cut than expected, we ended up getting a dump.
Now, why do you think that is?
There is no reason, TJ. I think it was honestly, it did that because maybe it was, just kind of looking for a market correction here,
My prediction on that sort of stuff, I mean, they are not inevitably linked. I agree. Rate cuts don't inevitably cause the markets to pump or to crash. But when they cut 100 points there, and to your point, nobody was expecting that, I think that signaled to the market like, oh, things are worse than we think they are. We need to get into cash now and be prepared for the incoming recession. It's really recessions that impact markets, and rates can be somewhat of a leading indicator because they're trying to prevent recessions as best they can. So going into 2020, seeing the Fed make such a drastic choice, I think spooked the markets in general.
Yeah, and like Crypto Crank says, expectations are a recession when there is a massive cut here. Yep. And that looked like it lasted for 4 days. They're like, it's a recession. And then it just kept pumping. Well,
and it's because it was an overreaction. It really wasn't the reality. It was just a reaction to the Fed's moves. And I think that could be similar to what we see here. If they don't cut as much as it's really meeting the market's expectations or not. And if they cut dramatically, that scares people. If they cut systematically, I think that shows for a healthier market, which is why, again, I'm still in the 25 basis points camp. I don't think they're trying to send shockwaves through the market right now. They do know money's been a little bit too expensive. We do need more liquidity. And almost every single time in time after there's more money flowing around, that's when we see assets kind of have their thing. So
yeah, we got two more sets of rate cuts. We also have that's the 2022 cuts, and we got the 2019 3 cuts here. That cut led to a pump. That cut led to sideways. That cut led to a dump. So we didn't really see any direction. Then we got to go all the way to '08, and then we got more data here. Then we got another unexpected 100. That just kind of continued the bullish period, and then it's like, oh no, we're bearish. I told you we're bearish. And then the markets just started to pump for gold. Here we had a market cut, pump for a day, huge cut, another cut, sideways price action. And then we had a cut, pump, cut, dump, cut, pump, cut, dump. So really, people are saying, all right, cut does this, the price will do this. No one knows. You can go back in history and the market's just going to do what the market's going to do. But I said I do have a prediction for you. DZ's prediction for, let's just say, heading into the weekend. Do you think I'm going to say a dump or a pump?
Let me think. DZ's prediction heading into the weekend. I think you're going to say dump.
Wrong. That was wrong.
All right.
The reason I'm saying it looks like the markets want to pump, I'm going by what are the whales doing and what's the whales stand to benefit if the market pumps or the market dumps. Well, look at the liquidation heat map here. Now, I know this isn't any kind of guaranteed, it's going to go this way because it's brighter, but typically the markets like to follow these directions. The heat map is a lot brighter to the upside on the 24-hour chart. And if we go to the 3-day, we see something pretty similar here. And so the market stands to wash you out if it goes to the upside. And then typically the market will do the thing that leads to you being washed out of the market. And so where the whales end up with more Bitcoin, you end up with less Bitcoin. That's what the market wants to do almost every single time. The market wants it to go up. Now, there is a little bit of a warning, 57,000. But this pump to the upside, you're only looking at 61,000, then another one closer to $62,000. If we go to the week here, we're still going to see, bullish sentiment. Except for down here.
What is that?
It gets really, really
50?
ugly on the 1 week. I wonder what the month looks like. What does the month look like?
Is it 52 down there? Is that the number?
No, it was the same 57.
57.
It doesn't get super bearish. The 52 is even below here. The markets aren't even expecting it to go that low. And so this does look like it wants a quick washout to the downside. But if you look just into the immediate price action, looks like it does want to go to the upside heading into the weekend. So that's why I'm saying this is like a 2-3 day prediction here. Market looks like it wants to go up. But then you go to the 12-hour. Oh my God, some degens are opening longs this morning.
Yeah.
The degens might render this inert. You see it spike on the 12-hour versus 24. This is basically people putting in longs today, putting in since like last night. Oh my God, the degens might dump it. The degens might dump it.
I was gonna say, if we could all
bullish,
just stop opening, going, degenning into leverage positions for a week, and then the market makers would want the price to go up to get that higher liquidity. But as long as you guys keep opening longs, they're going to keep scooping that free money off.
Yeah. Oh man. So we did say, the worst policy mistake since 1929. Whoa, this is pretty bold here. This is from Game of Trades here. They got 250,000 followers, so definitely not a small account. Unlike that one YouTuber of the year. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. That was interesting.
Maybe we could break that down maybe on Friday's members only stream. I don't want to come after with the knives drawn unless it's for the members only. All right, so this is they were saying they're making the worst mistake since 1929. The Great Depression started the same year Prohibition. Interesting, right? Or within a year of each other. This is not going to end well. They have a quick thread on it. So the Fed, they've had steady interest rates for the past year. Last time this happened was right before the '08 financial crisis. Back then, Fed Chair Ben Bernanke expressed regret for not cutting rates sooner. Prior to the financial crisis, they kept short-term rates above the neutral rate, indicating a tight monetary policy. And so you can see the neutral rate, they kept it artificially inflated higher than they should have. So you're saying, these dips here, they should have started cutting rates to keep in line with the orange line. But this wasn't the first time they made such a mistake. They did the damn same thing in 1929. They also kept the rates too high for too long. This contributed to the onset of the Great Depression. In hindsight, the Fed acknowledged that they should have cut rates sooner. The Great Depression isn't for Cardano holders when you're waiting for it to hit $1. That's starting to feel like the Great Depression for me. But no, in hindsight, the Fed acknowledged that they should have cut rates sooner. And then we're kind of looking at that today. Fast forward to today, Fed rates have been above the neutral rate for 2 years now. So the policy remains tight and the risk of another mistake is elevated. As you can see, we started to get some dips. Meanwhile, this rate is above this orange line. And so initially, this was to curb inflation, but now there's strong evidence inflation is stabilizing. So their restrictive stance, likely, they're effing up, TJ. They're likely effing up. They're keeping the rate, higher than the neutral rate. And this has spelled disaster in the past. Do you think they can navigate this with a soft landing, or is this playing about to crash?
I think it's about to crash, but not yet. That's kind of this theory I was talking about yesterday, where we are crashing. We're pulling up right here at the end, and we're going to kind of get that dead cat bounce sort of momentum and then experience, I think, call it the Great Recession coming potentially in towards the end of 25 going into 2026. And then we're going to reset a lot of things here because, yes, inflation data is somewhat looking better. But to your point that you made at the top of the stream, they've really massaged a lot of those numbers. What are you trying to check the price?
Well, we have two of these Bitcoin price trackers. One of them went down.
Yeah, we got to reset that.
It says it says ID, but I'm just like one bad day. It says $0. Like, whoa,
Bitcoin is zero. No. So I do think they could have cut at the last meeting. I think it would have been better if they cut a little bit sooner, especially if they're going to stick with 25 each time. I think that's why, like KJM in the chat mentioned, he wants 50 today and then 25 for the remaining. And I think that's what a lot of people are calling for.
Well, Jamie Dimon isn't. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah. So I do think they're a little bit late on this. So I don't know. We'll have to watch it play out. But I do think we're going to see a recession into beyond 2025. They're gonna pump markets up. They're gonna let asset people, pump their assets up. Businesses get more robust, learn how to get more efficient, learn how to use technology and AI. And the sad thing is, what this always does is companies get more efficient when they go through this process. They learn to adapt. Yeah. They learn to
They tighten the belt.
Yeah, they learn to do more with less resources, and that's when you see unemployment go up. And the people that really get ravaged.
That's when they take DZ out of the Chuck E. Cheese costume and say, leave it to the robot.
Yeah, let the robots do it.
Let the robot. I was replaced by AI decades ago, folks. So I've been ahead of the curve for years.
Animatronics, yeah. No, that's when the middle class or the everyday person really absolutely gets ravaged, because not only is their savings getting inflated away, their job is not paying them as much. The cost of everything else is expensive, and it's really, really, really hard to get ahead. And I was thinking about this the other day. People need to grow and adapt and become more efficient themselves, just like a business would in these environments. When you see tightening, you need to learn how to produce more with less. When you see easing, that's when you can go a little bit more risk on. But you need to think in your own mindset about how to position yourself in some of these economic uncertainty times, whether it's working a side hustle, whether it's using AI, whether it's, whatever you're doing, you need to find new ways to make money. What do you have?
Maniac. Yeah. Robots have more hair.
Oh, okay. Got him.
Right. They got me.
Not
they
all
got
of
me
them.
there. They got me there. I remember telling people I dropped out of accounting in the 2010s because of AI. Back then, people looked at me like I was crazy. I don't think I'd be laughed at these days. You know what? They would laugh until I gave them the example. Have you ever been to a grocery store and you see the robot going up and down the aisles, like running inventory on the canned soup?
No.
That's basically AI automation replacing someone who was an accountant. Where you see the person wearing the button up and they're like marking on the checkbox here, checkbox there. Yeah, they've been replaced by robots years ago. So I saw the writing on the wall. I feel good about, dropping out now. All right. UBS, I was winding back to gold for a second here, warns that the dollar's downfall, it does look like the dollar's weakening here, could continue as gold moves to a new high, $2,700 here. And so said has further to run, could even hit 27. I'm getting a lot of predictions saying we're going to hit 3K pretty soon. So according to this investment bank, they're measuring the performance of the dollar against 6 major other currencies. It has lost 5% of its value, Meanwhile, gold is pumping there. So that might be a big reason why we're seeing a gold pump. We're losing our value against other precious or other currencies here. But this is the biggest indicator of where Bitcoin's going to go. This is something I've long been saying. TJ, you agree. We've talked about this a lot. The global liquidity cycle, short of the 4-year cycle, is probably the most important thing to Bitcoin. Michael Saylor. Yeah, he's a little bit, this is how important Michael Saylor is compared to global liquidity. El Salvador, that's how important they are. China mining, that's a little bit bigger. But the biggest indicator besides 4-year cycle is going to be global liquidity. More dollars in the global system, higher Bitcoin price. That is just how it works. So the only big divergence we got this year occurred with the U.S. ETF launch in January. Other than that, U.S. liquidity leads Bitcoin. Well, guess what happens starting in October? Liquidity is going to start rising again. So this is just paving the way for a very, very bullish Q4 for Bitcoin this year. So now's not the time to sell your Bitcoin. TJ, could be time to sell your Solana for Cardano. Just that statement. I know this is a bold statement. The video's going out tonight. Yeah. Should you sell your Solana for Cardano? What do you say? Yes or no?
I could make probably a case both directions. I would say, I don't know, risk reward. I think Cardano's got a pretty good opportunity right now. Solana, obviously, I still think has more. I think they both have more room to the upside. It's just a matter of how much. It's going to take something big, something substantial happening for Cardano, whether that's, I would love to see them get a support from USDC or USDT. Do you think there's ever a world where that happens?
Yeah, I definitely think there is a world where that happens. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at the chat saying, what the heck grocery store do you shop at? Elon Foods?
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. Have you guys not seen the robots? Now our local hibachi place, what is it? Volcano, where you get hot pots and stuff. Yeah, they got the robots grabbing your cups and stuff.
Really? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it gives you your boba tea. If you get any boba tea at Volcano at the new location, yeah, they send a robot to you. Now it's on wheels. It's not walking yet, but maybe soon. Soon.
But you think it is possible to see Cardano get integration with either Tether or USDC?
They're
in the next year or so, like before the end of 2025.
See, like when you say those two specifically, I could definitely see. I would love to see Tether on ADA. I think a lot of people would like to see it. The problem is they don't want transactions to be able to be rolled back, and so that's an issue trying to do that on Cardano. Just the type of transactions that they have, the UET or the UTXO model. There's issues where. Say, I'm just going to throw this out there. Say North Korea, right? So North Korea gets some Tether Foundation, and the way ETH works, you can go ahead and just freeze it. It's done. They don't want that in Cardano. Is kind of the sentiment I've heard. It's there's arguments for both sides. That being said, you add Tether, you add USDC, Cardano will start pumping.
Absolutely.
There's a world where it can't pump without those.
I mean, it would absolutely supercharge the DeFi ecosystem there. Now, maybe they could use DAI. I know PayPal, like PYUSD, is another stable coin that's starting to rise, and they're going to run into the same problem with any centrally regulated stable coin. But I do think that getting a good stablecoin ecosystem going on Cardano and some really strong DeFi going, I think would be powerful. And I do think they're one big partnership or announcement away from a very, very parabolic run.
Yeah, we'll see. A lot of people are heated about this, and I found a chart that's very compelling. You're gonna have to watch tonight's video to see DZ's take here.
Yeah, did you shoot it already, or is it you're shooting it right after this?
They're just gonna have to. They'll see tonight. Have on notifications. You'll figure it out, folks. It is going out hopefully around 7 p.m. All right, we have Fed rate cut could crash crypto markets, but the era of central banks is over, according to Arthur Hayes, famous for pumping his bags here. The impending rate cut, however, would add to the inflation problem and lead to yen strength, aka a weaker dollar, causing broad-based risk aversion. He explained in an exclusive interview with CoinDesk on the sidelines of Token 2049 conference in Singapore. The rate cut is a bad idea because inflation is still an issue in the U.S., with the government being the biggest contributor to the sticky price pressures. If you make borrowing cheaper, it adds to inflation. The second reason is that the interest rate differential between the U.S. and Japan narrows with rate cuts that can lead to sharp appreciation in the yen and trigger unwinding of the yen carry trades, which would be a short-term bearish move on the markets here. Let's see here. BCX, I'm going for 37s. That's what I'm going to go for, 37. All right, ultimately, liquidity is what drives everything. This has turned bullish. So, yeah, we just got more and more data. Liquidity cycle is set to start moving. You can see the global money supply is supposed to be a white line, but it's a blue line, and it goes in waves, and it looks like we're due for the other wave to the upside. So we got a little wave to the upside, comes back down. Wave to the upside, comes back down. Wave to the upside, comes back down. Now we're expecting another wave to the upside. Looking kind of like this period right here, where we kind of chop in this range, and then we blast to the upside with extra money injected into the system here. Bitcoin presenting an opportunity for a parabolic rally ahead of the widely anticipated jumbo rate cut. And so here's some numbers here. They're saying the price rose, hitting 61K, but there's a number here. A weekly close above 64K would end the 7-month sequence of lower highs and likely see us travel back to 70K with haste. I think he's smoking crack. I look at the chart here. I'm not really seeing 64, he said. 64 is going to be a higher high or a higher low. No, it's just kind of matching, matching this wick right here. So if we wicked up there, that isn't telling us anything. So if we go up to 64, still lower than this right here.
Yeah, it depends on the
we
time.
Wick to 65.
He's probably looking at a really short time frame. Sure, it's a higher low from the last 3 candles there, or last 4 or 5. You're looking at, what is that, the weekly?
This is a 3-day.
3-day, yeah.
So we go to the daily here.
Yeah, so on the most recent trend, yeah, but like you said, as far as that whole channel is concerned, it's definitely not higher. I mean, you'd have to get back up toward 70 to see that happen. I think that's what I'm waiting to see, is a clear move above 70, and that's when I think once we close a week above 70, a really good daily above 70, that's when it makes a really fast move to 100K. Now we're gonna have to get above 64 first to do that. And I do think we could see that happen in the very near future. So, yeah, that's my thought there.
All right. We have Bitcoin signals here. Short term, continuation of the bullish swing. Likely another week in play. According to Willy Woo here, he has over 1 million followers. Medium term, we're seeing a whole lot of spot Bitcoin being scooped up, and exchange inventory accounting for derivatives remains flat. But this could change quickly if we get a short squeeze. Chart pattern is forming a bull flag, bullish. Current demand and supply is neutral, bearish, with signs of moving into a bullish structure. If we get some liquidations, cautiously optimistic. So I love hearing a bull flag. If we try to draw it out here, this is basically, I could go super bullish and say the pole started here. Well, you won't go super bullish. We won't go crazy here. So you measure here, and then you take the flagpole and you move it to the breakout point. Let's be a little extra bearish. Let's just say it takes a little bit longer. It takes us a little longer to get out of this range. So we don't break out to all the way down here. Still looking at $126,000 Bitcoin if a bull flag plays out. I'm not saying a bull flag is going to play out, but we've seen bull flags for Solana look like this, where you're like, no way that bull flag plays out to go up to $250. And then it goes up to $250. So there's probably going to be a lot of people saying, there's no way it can go up to 126,000. The more people that say that, kind of in a weird way, the more likely it can go up to 126,000 there. We do have the dominance heading to 60%. Are the altcoins getting squeezed out? And highlighting it made it much harder to read. With very few exceptions from altcoins, they have Bitcoin is dominating this bull market. And now the Bitcoin dominance is above 58%. Will the altcoins be squeezed out of the rest of this bull market cycle? So it's currently at 58.47. Let's just kind of check in on the BTC.D. That's how you find Bitcoin dominance percentage. Oh my God. Man. What was I on crack?
What was going on here?
I don't know what the heck was going on. So here's a little hack here. You just go boom, 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 boom. Someone's going to say, you can actually hotkey it. It's actually better. Bitcoin dominance. I keep saying it and I'll say it again. It does seem like it's starting to curve, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's starting to curve. It doesn't mean it can't, continue up like, but yeah, it does seem like it's starting to curve to the downside. We're going to, we're at a pretty strong make or break point. If you just kind of look in the past, I always do that and I hate it. Yeah, so this is very strong support. This 58.8, close to 60% range. Strong resistance here. What does your gut say? Is this going to curve to the downside, or are we doing some fake out pumps?
Yeah, I think, again, I'm still 4-year cycle theory, and I think timing wise, we're getting close to the point where Bitcoin's dominance does start to tap out. I've been looking at 60 most of this time, between 55 and 60. We're at 50, at least according to CoinMarketCap, 57.3 right now. I could see it still getting close to 60. I don't think it'll get to 65 or 70, which we've seen in the past because of stablecoins. So yeah, I think we're close to the top. And once we get these rate cuts, that's when things move more towards risk on. And that's when you traditionally see altcoins and other things start to pump. I do think Ethereum, looking at the Ethereum to BTC chart that we looked at yesterday, seeing that close to bottoming out. If we start to see that close the gap, that's generally when other altcoins rally and follow. So moving into 2025 is going to be when that dominance, I believe, really starts to fall.
Good for the altcoins.
Yeah, great
Good
for
your
altcoins.
alt bags
So
that you're overexposed to, and I know you are, viewer.
It could still tick up a little bit more because, Bitcoin is going to lead this market. And so for that reason, I'm still looking at 60, maybe slightly above, but definitely not 64, 65, 70, that sort of stuff.
This guy looks like Mushroom Tate. Man, wait till you see I have my Top G sunglasses on. We're basically doppelgangers. Have you ever seen that picture or video where it has spiders making their webs on different drugs?
Maybe a long time ago. Yeah,
this is the spider on LSD. Hold on there. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this is spider on LSD. I just wanted to show that. So if you're wondering, have you ever seen that? That's exactly what it looks like. It's a 1-for-1 matchup there. All right, Bitcoin ETFs got a little bit of a surge, adding $250 million worth ahead of the rate cut. So the whales
yesterday, right? They had a 250.
Yeah, this is very bullish here. So this is bullish news. The whales are accumulating Bitcoin, 6 days of accumulation alerts in a row, primarily from custody wallet inflows. Nothing has changed for Bitcoin. We're still in the middle of a bull cycle here. A lot of people getting just bullish news across the board, including Bitcoin exchange reserves now dropping to 2018 levels. Significant impact of this is every 10 minutes, there's more Bitcoin in the world. Every 10 minutes. And so to have less Bitcoin on exchanges than we did in 2019, 2020, that's a very, very bullish sign for Bitcoin. So you can't unpack that enough there. It's very, very bullish.
Interesting. Sorry to interrupt. Hyper indicators in the chat said there's a BTC dominance bull flag that indicates it would go to 61.5. 61.5 seems reasonable to me. If we get a really
messed around,
really strong move, like a quick move from 70 to 100K price wise would probably do it. So if we get something like that, a strong pump, Bitcoin pump towards the end of the year would probably push it up, and then you see that money flow into alts going into 25.
All right, so we're getting for as far as bull markets goes, we're getting just a long period of no new high essentially here. So yeah, something needs to happen. Last time we saw anything like this was 2021. So if I had to guess, what part of the market are we in? I feel like we're in this kind of like 2020 tail end, which matches where we're at in the 4-year cycle, where we're setting up a very, very bullish period. It's a matter of, I want to say it's a matter of when, not if. I know I'm internally bullish here, but I still think, Bitcoin's going to have a higher high sometime between here and September 2025. Seems like a given for me here. Here we're looking at some of the ETF inflows. They correspond perfectly with the market rethinking the 50 rate cut today. The lesson, Bitcoin's establishing itself as the go-to tool for investors looking to go risk on. I think that is a really good take. Bitcoin, the #1 risk asset in mankind's history. It's not even close. The other really good asset in mankind's history is his puppet sock.
What? I don't get that one.
The 1990s WWF reference, not even WWE there. Mick Foley. You know Mick Foley?
Not really. I wasn't big into that stuff.
So wrestling wasn't really watching your household? Were you not a Hulkamaniac? I guess you're a little young to be a
was a little young. It was right. I was on the tail end of it. Like some of the older kids I knew were really into it.
But did you smell what The Rock was cooking?
Not on TV.
So no Austin 316 shirts in your household?
No.
Oh, man. That's fine. Mick Foley. Sacco. The name was Sacco. I forgot the Sacco name. Everybody wanted the ETFs, and this is what you get. I like that. Cactus Jack. We got a lot of Mankind fans in the chat. Hit the like button if you like Mankind. Hit the like button. you're fascinated by him stuffing a dirty sock into grown man's mouth. I don't know why it was so cool as a 8-year-old. BlackRock published a great Bitcoin report. Key charts below here. Kind of goes into a couple cool things here, like why Bitcoin matters. It talks about, the relevance of just a monetary instrument, the really, really good monetary instrument. We do know that, you look at some of the challenges around money, prone to inflation, difficult to transact, access is limited. Bitcoin fixes all of those things. Accelerated U.S. debt growth. And so as our debt gets bigger, it becomes more difficult to service the debt's interest payments. And so that makes the debt even bigger. And then it creates what they call a positive feedback loop, where something basically just escalates until it blows up. Yes, I know it sounds crazy to say the U.S. economy is on a path for it to blow up, but that does seem to be if you look at just what we're doing with our debt versus what money we have coming in versus what money we're spending, Bitcoin is the best answer for you folks here. And so really, really cool charts there. HODL15, great follow if you're not following him already. He's got a lot of stuff on the ETFs here. Sting was cool. Dude Love. Rock. Old school WW. Macho Man. Macho Man was pretty cool too. Were you a Slim Jim fan?
No, I didn't watch any of this stuff.
No, Slim Jim, the beef jerky.
Oh, no, actually, I wasn't a fan of that either.
Slim Jim, though, would be a good, like a white lucha libre name there.
Sure.
All right, Trump, let's get a little crypto politics here. We're not going to get into the weeds here. Don't worry. Oh, I don't want him to get into it. No, we're just talking about crypto. Trump and Harris, Ethereum tokens will power Wintermute's elections prediction market, folks. Let me ask you a question. Chat, let me know, yes or no. Probably no. I'm leaning no. But do you want a video on how to bet on the presidential election? It requires a VPN. For this video, I'll travel to Canada. Just kind of show you how to transact and, the wallet. And, like if you don't have Polygon, you got to add Polygon, go to Polymarket, and maybe, just put like a little token bet down of $10 or something. Let me know if you want to see that video. I think there are some people that want to be able to do it, don't know how to do it, and they're just like, it's just too difficult. I'm already lost in the weeds here.
Yeah, there you go, Nicole. I was a fan of the Hardy Brothers. Yeah, I read a lot of those books when I was a kid.
I wonder if they mean the Hardy Boys, which was a wrestling group as well. I also liked there's a Sherlock Holmes thing, but it was like a kid. Maybe Encyclopedia was in the name somewhere. I was also a Goosebumps fan.
Yeah, my sister read a lot of that. Yeah.
A lot of Goosebumps. I was a nerd. I led my school in accelerator reader points, set the record for first grade. I was a
You're
reading
like a speed
nerd.
reader, right? Didn't I remember you talking about that when you very first started, that you could speed read?
I mean, there's some speed readers that they're just like on pages. So, I mean, compared to that, I probably read slow. But yeah, I mean, I could. I was a voracious reader back in the day. I was reading Gone with the Wind as like an 11-year-old. I was a weirdo. Why? It was the maximum amount of accelerator reader points in my school, followed by it was like 63 points, followed by Three Musketeers, which is like 47 points. I smoked the competition in my school when it came to that.
Encyclopedia Brown?
Yeah, I think it's Encyclopedia Brown. Yeah, that does sound right. Yeah, all right. Here we have John Paulson, not Robert. This is a hedge fund billionaire. He plans to pull money if Kamala wins the election. He announced he would withdraw his investments from the market, move into cash and gold, should be Bitcoin, if Kamala wins the presidential election. His hedge fund manages $9 billion across various sectors here. Some of the reasons: her corporate tax rate, capital gains tax, and the potential introduction of tax on unrealized gains for wealthy individuals. Said this is going to lead to mass selling, market crashes, and predicting a quick recession if it's enacted there. Here we keep moving on. CFTC warning Polymarket and other crypto betting platforms of enforcement actions here. They do not like what's happening here. They're trying to crack down on it. Maybe all the more reason to support it and kind of show off what they're doing over there. The lobbyists. This is a very interesting campaign here or battle. They're spending $800K daily in TV ads to unseat Senator Sherrod Brown, one of the main attackers of crypto here. So you attack crypto, it might come back, bite you in the butt. Question, TJ, this is, maybe we're kind of guessing here. Can this be used as ammunition for Sherrod Brown? Like, hey, look, these crypto bros are spending millions of dollars trying to take me down. That's all the more reason for you, citizen in my district, to vote for me.
Sure. I mean, that's what politicians do. They spin everything. So I'm sure they'll try to put some spin on it, but I think it's his takes are pretty obviously bad, and pretty, I think, biased by his donors and backers. So if they can, I think they have a pretty good chance to unseat him with this, and I don't think that approach would work very well, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so either. What was the name of the show where they're scared of the dark? Are you afraid of the dark? And they were like, like blow out the flame. Yeah, I love that show too. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was good. All right, let's talk about Gensler here. In a letter to Gensler, Republicans are urging the SEC to clarify how it treats crypto airdrops. This came from a letter from Tom Emmer. He's the GOP majority whip. So he is known as the whip who will whip the people into shape here. Oh, you're not voting on that bill? Back in the day, according to Cosmo Kramer, they would whip the actual politicians. Like, oh, you're not going to vote for this border wall. Whip. I don't know if that's true or not, but Cosmo Kramer said it was true. So the future of peer-to-peer digital economy cannot be left to the authoritarian whims of Gary Gensler. Today, Patrick Henry and I are requesting answers from the SEC on their position that airdrops are securities transactions. Yeah, it's totally ridiculous to assume airdrops are securities transactions. I mean, you can look at a lot of equivalents here. Imagine there's, you sign up, you're the first one to buy Pokemon, whatever, and you log in. They randomly selected people to get a Charizard in the mail. I mean, should that be registered as security? So why should you do the same thing for a gaming token? Or why would you treat a gaming token any differently? To me, it's a very, very good point. I hope they roast them over the coals for that. Should airdrops be under the jurisdiction of the SEC, TJ?
No.
Doesn't it suck that Americans were like always cut off from that?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. They're not doing it to protect you. They're doing it to keep you under the heel, under the boot, and always forever stuck in the lower to hopefully middle class, if that even exists anymore. Here we have a BlackRock joining forces with Bill Gates. Bill Gates, Larry Fink, the duo the world needed. What? No, they're joining forces to launch a $30 billion AI investment fund. The goal? Build data centers and energy products to handle the exploding demand for AI products. People close to the matter say this fund will be one of the largest on Wall Street. Also behind it, NVIDIA and MGX. That's the newer company backed by Abu Dhabi. They're also partners in the fund. Abu Dhabi within the UAE. So the new fund is meant to tackle that building infrastructure to prevent bottlenecks that could slow down AI progress. Larry Fink told investors that he hasn't seen this level of demand for AI or for level of demand for anything in his 50 years of finance. And earlier this year, Microsoft made a $10 billion commitment to renewable energy projects in Canada through a management company here. We need just more nuclear. That's all we need. We have this magic rock that was discovered 1,000 years ago. This magic rock can boil water and give us free energy, but some idiot, I don't want to say idiot, some people cut corners. There were some issues, and old technology, burnt some people with the magic rock, and now we're scared of magic rock forever. We need to just, acknowledge like this is a boon to humanity, and we need to use it, and nuclear energy is going to be the future. We're going to need a lot more. These Tesla robots, going to be a lot of power, folks. We're going to have an army of robots. We're going to need a lot of energy. And you think your AC is pretty big. I mean, imagine what some humanoid robot's going to drain every single day. It's going to be massive.
That's a good point. And, the other side of that, to put it in another analogy, that would be like we discover fire as a civilization. And because some idiot burned their house down, now we just ban all fire forever. And we don't progress as a society, don't cook our food because fire is dangerous and it could, cause some problems. And that's how they're treating nuclear energy, it seems like.
Do I believe red mercury is real? What little I've seen of red mercury is like hard to replicate, but there's like grainy VHS footage that like looks cool. I'm not a what would that be? That would be a specialist in, I guess, like elements, but it would be like metals and stuff. I'm not a metallurgist, metallurgiologist. It's a metallurgiologist. I'm not a metallurgiologist.
Is that a meteorologist? Maybe like I don't know, that's weather. But quick question: One House Productions Was it a BlackRock? I thought they said what is BlackRock. That's funny. Okay, I get it now.
AI-focused Bitcoin miners outperforming their rivals amid significant upside for the industry here. The Bitcoin miners. I mean, Bitcoin's been in a downward channel since March. And so when Bitcoin's down 5%, the miners are going to be down more than 5%. So it's just in a bearish period.
Alchemist,
When Bitcoin starts doing really well, they'll outperform everything and they'll do it again. We have some Circle news. Today, we announced availability of banking and USDC minting in native Brazil and Mexico, 24/7 rails, and using local currencies as part of the continued global banking infrastructure expansion for USDC. Wake me up when I can get the Swedish krona. I want to get that krona coin. Wrap Bitcoin co-creator BitGo challenging Tether Circle with reward-focused stablecoin here. I don't think a reward-focused stablecoin can get that regulatory approval that's going to be needed. If there's going to be a new stablecoin that's going to gain a lot of market share, I think it's going to be PayPal there. I think it would be PayPal. I do want to give a big shout out to Houdini, everybody. Houdini swap. And so if you are trying to get in and out of currencies, you got some stable coins, you want to find Swedish krona when you can get it, I bet it's going to be on Houdini swap. Why? 4,000 tokens. I think last time I did the letter T. Let me get a letter T.
A.
Yeah, they got a lot of tokens, folks. They got a lot of tokens. So they have 4,000 different tokens. So if you name it, it's probably going to be on there. So it's a really, really good tool for just bridging, transacting, sending, and best compliant privacy. If privacy matters to you, it's really good. Explain like I'm 5. Omni-chain wrap Bitcoin security. I just want to kind of cover kind of what it does. So they verify each wrap Bitcoin across chains using their own decentralized verifier network. I just want to point out, is this an oxymoron?
Say it again.
So they verify using their own decentralized verifier.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
It is a little weird. So I just want to pause on that and say, you know what? Probably don't really need to read the rest of it. So that's just my take there. I'm sure it's all verified, but it's not exactly decentralized. Here we have the JP Morgan stuff from Jamie Dimon. JP Morgan Chase is probably one of the biggest users of blockchain. He said in an interview with Financial Markets Conference here, he's long been skeptical of crypto and even suggested that the government should ban digital assets like Bitcoin. But what? You're one of the biggest users of blockchain. So he was saying they're likely one of the biggest users. We're probably one of the biggest users of blockchain, an actual user, like a real user. Chat, you're not real. There's a way to verify if you're real. Hit that like button. Where are we on likes, TJ?
We are sitting at about 1,600 people watching, 558 likes. Yeah, good day for everybody's feeling the energy in the room today. So shout out to all you guys. Thanks for hitting that like button. If you haven't done it yet, on mobile, if you turn your phone sideways, sometimes you have to do that to get out of to be able to see the like button, and you do have to close the live chat, and then you can hop right back.
Hey, folks, so we probably got some new reviewers. This is Discover Crypto. We bring you live content 5 days a week. We bring you crypto videos 7 days a week. I'm doing a video tonight. Should you sell your Solana for Cardano? And they call me the Cardano version of Top G. Not really. Someone said it earlier, and I'm still heated. All right, so Diamond, longtime crypto skeptic, he compared Bitcoin to a pet rock, meaning it was like a good idea at the time, is not doing an about face that on the industry he called worthless. In fact, he said he used his favorite laugh line, cryptocurrency, I call this a pet rock, ha, 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 ha. But JP Morgan, they forked a version of Ethereum to create its private permission network called Onyx back in 2020. Onyx, they processed over $700 billion worth of transactions. Who are some of their clients? Goldman Sachs. That's where Gary Gensler is from. Gary Gensler, the youngest VP in Goldman Sachs history, DBS Bank and BNB Paribas amongst its users. So yeah, I would say $700 billion worth of transactions. Probably one of the biggest users of blockchain, Jamie Dimon. I guess you're right. So why are you telling us it's rat poison? Why are you telling us it's pet rock? Why are you saying we should ban it? Is it because you're secretly accumulating some? Who knows, folks? And so he's saying more. Oh, this is also interesting. It's not that worried if we're getting a hard or a soft landing. He's more worried about geopolitical risk. I don't want to get too into keywords that are going to get this video suppressed. But yeah, I mean, we do have some uncertainty looming when it comes to conflict. And he's saying that's a lot more important than the U.S. economy. I would say they're kind of linked, though, TJ. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely linked.
Yeah, if we get some massive global uncertainty, that's going to lead to the hard landing. If everything is roses and peachy, that increases the odds we get a soft landing here. No one knows what's going to happen, though. Bitwise CIO, he likens Ethereum to Microsoft and says it's underappreciated dominance despite bearish sentiment, saying it still leads in DeFi assets and institutional adoption, much like Microsoft's role in tech. I want to get into the article here. I just think it's a good analogy. Ethereum, kind of like Microsoft. Everyone's using it and it's undervalued and people take it for granted. Would you say people take ETH for granted?
Yes. Absolutely.
Would you say they take it for granted?
What?
I think it's a Family Guy joke. He's like, wait, did you just say take it for granted? I think it's a Family Guy joke.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The Vitalik cringe.
Oh, here we go.
This is more cringy than DZ wearing the Chuck E. Cheese outfit and the costume disintegrating in front of the kids. This is the reason why ETH is red today.
See, I'll take the inverse. This is very cringe, but in some ways, I'm going to say this is why I'm bullish. When you see Vitalik out on stage singing and dancing, that usually precedes a pump. So.
Oh my God. Also, wait a minute. Let's watch closely. Is there going to be any kind of shadow in his? I'll just say it in his groin. Is he going to have a shadow on his groin that's going to lead to a pump? It did last time. All right. There's only 19 seconds and. Warning
brace
for
yourselves,
the
guys.
Yeah, brace yourselves. Sit down if you're standing.
All the rest of them, it's mathematical. No more double spend, it's encryptable. Put your cash in your brain or it's wearable. A new form of wealth begins. Wait, who here actually remembers that one?
All right, that's just the founder of the world's second largest global financial network of all time. What are your thoughts here, TJ?
My thoughts are, I love it. I'm a fan. Let a Vitalik be himself. Let nerds nerd. Yep. I think it was a funny, catchy little
song. I wish he had an
an
anime shirt on or a unicorn or something.
I don't have a problem with this stuff at all. I think this is a result of being
bullish.
Being in a community where all you do is think about math and transactions and encryption and double spend problems. I mean, these are some of that's one of the smartest minds in cryptography and solving some of these problems. Him turning it into a little song and having a little fun with it. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. And it's
my views were best expressed by maybe the world's most famous athlete. Shout out to our international viewers out there. I know we got a lot of football fans. We like to call it soccer, especially, overseas. I know we got a lot of fans in India, a lot of fans in Europe here, South America. Let's go to one of the world's most famous people. This was my take here.
Yes,
ETH holders watching him sing and knowing it's all over. He's very memeable. Messi? Yeah, that was...
As everybody in the crowd right there listening to that song.
Oh, it's funny stuff, funny stuff. You know what? I'm all for it, man. Let him have it. Foosball. Let him have his good time there. Meanwhile, Google Cloud, what's ETH doing? They're just partnering with Google Cloud. Maybe you've heard of Google, kind of a up and comer in the tech space.
Well, I mean,
here.
You think about this. Think about the Microsoft, the Microsoft stuff back in the day. That wasn't exactly suave. Some of their conferences and rallies. And
You talk about Steve Ballmer getting up on stage and screaming.
Yeah, that was one of them.
I love it.
Yeah,
I was all about that.
I'm all for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So. Let them do what they're doing, man. They're doing great. Uh-oh, where's he going?
We gotta buy Bitcoin!
Yeah.
We gotta buy Bitcoin! We gotta buy Bitcoin! I just did that so hard my iPhone flew out of my pocket and smashed.
Now you just need to be...
Now I need to look at the screen.
Now you need to be drenched in sweat.
No crack.
Yeah, no crack. There you go.
No crack. I go caseless.
Wow.
Am I a maniac?
You are a maniac.
I'm a caseless maniac.
Wow.
I'll tell you, because me and the fiance, we share a phone plan, and she, of course, she's lost hers before. It got stolen in Vegas, stolen right in front of her, and then ran. So we didn't see it till like 30. We're like, wait, I think it was that guy that acted all shady. Anyways, long story short, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even use the number of replacements ever. So I'm just going to live on the wild side. That's what I've been doing ever since. All right, ETH holders. I'm a piece of crap. I'm an old piece of crap. I'm winded, y'all.
You're winded?
I'm sweating.
Oh, man.
I'm sweating. And it's not because I'm a Cardano holder. Sometimes it feels like it. All right, ETH. 61% of ETH addresses in profit now. How does it compare with the past bear markets? Well, this is really what I want to know. So, like, what happened in the past? So, addresses that adjust their acquisition level exactly equal to the current spot price are assumed to be just breaking even and tend to be at the money here. And so, here we have a chart that shows the trend historical in and out of money over the past several years. Here we have, I just want to see what precedes the big pumps. What precedes the big pumps is we get pretty high into the green territory. We're pretty high in the green territory, but we haven't had a good enough pump. I'm starting to feel like this is kind of similar to Bitcoin in the summer, kind of like in this lull period right here, where we had a pretty bullish period, but the green did not hit the top of the chart, suggesting that, maybe we're kind of like in this period here. So ETH could have some pretty good days ahead of it. So we got some bullish sentiment here. We do have ETH leading the DPIN revolution. Most, over half, launching on ETH. Number 2, Solana. Solana coming in. No, actually, DPIN Pro. Oh, BNB. BNB kind of BNB beating Solana. And Polygon nipping at its heels here. Solana 5.4%. Polygon 5.1%. Surprised there's no base on there. Figured base would have had something. We do have Cardano. Some good news. Cardano, Zilliqa team up to boost Web3 interoperability. Just want to share that. That's pretty cool. But the Cardano video tonight, make sure you have on notifications. I think there's a little bell up on the top right part. Go ahead and hit that, and you'll see the video when it drops. Which altcoin has the best tech? Really, this should just say community, because I don't think anyone who voted for Cardano was like actually thinking about the tech. I think they're just choosing their favorite coin. TJ, how does Cardano win every single community poll on X?
They definitely have a strong community. I mean,
how come the price doesn't follow?
That's a great question.
It's like I've heard this sentiment. They love the coin, they just don't use it or trade it. Is that true?
That could be true. I think a lot of Cardano has a lot of passive holders, I think, from cycles past that may or may not interact with it too much. They have a strong community. It just doesn't translate into price pumps all that often. You're right. So, and that should be something, if you're interested in parabolic gains, that should be something that is on your radar that you're looking into. There's kind of, when you're investing in crypto, you're looking at technology, you're looking at long term, you're looking at short term, you're looking at what can pump quickly. Most people want to get those, high return gains. So there's Cardano fundamentally it really prioritizes decentralization, which is important to me. I do think that's what the world needs. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what the world is going to adopt and choose and where the money will flow, if that makes sense. So you have to keep that in mind when you're investing. Some of these things are investments for capital returns. Some of these things are investments that you believe are going to impact the world in a better way. You have to decide that for yourself.
Man. So I got to care about the student ID projects and, World Mobile Token, and I got to drink Snake Energy now.
No, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you how you invest your money.
All right. Well, I guess I got to start chugging Snake Energy. Then I'll pump my snake bags there. We have SWE getting some pretty cool stuff here. They're storing articles and videos on their protocol Walrus. And so, just kind of showing the capabilities of SWE. I'm working on a SWE video where I look at some other tokens, including Tau. BitTensor eyeing 340. Will the triangle breakout propel it above $400? I look at what happened to Tau as far as USDC, because SWE's story right now is SWE just got USDC. But is that a buy the rumor, sell the news move? Or is it, buckle up because the pumps are going to be bigger 2 months from now, 4 months from now? I'm going to break all that down. Aptos, Bitcoin Stacks L2 will bring SBTC to Aptos. So we got more and more Bitcoin DeFi hitting other chains. So Wrap Bitcoin, move over. There is a new game in town, and they're using Aptos. So if you're bullish on Aptos, maybe look into the Bitcoin ecosystem. Could be something there. There's a lot of liquidity in Bitcoin ready to be opened up for Bitcoin DeFi.
Yeah,
here.
and SWE and Aptos kind of inevitably linked. I believe, a lot of similar team members at the beginning that split. Very similar technology, very similar, transaction throughput compared to SWI. So I think SWI seems to have a little bit more community adoption, marketing, that sort of thing, but Aptos right there with it. And it's that program. I think they both use, I want to say, the Move programming language, which is what Meta, Facebook uses. So tons of programmers that understand and use that language. It's very scalable. So that's part of what they both have going for those two chains.
All right. Now we got some Doge news. I know we got some Doge holders and just some dog owners out there. Go pet your dog. If your dog's in the room, call it over. Call it over right now. Say, hey, Tide, Athena, that's my dog's name. Come here. Give him a little pet. Give him a little love. Look at the appreciation in their eyes.
By the way,
that's the appreciation I give you if you hit the like button.
Last time we talked about dogs heavy on this stream, I don't know if you knew this. Neither one of us knew this when we did. It was actually like National Dog Day.
Oh.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's wild. So shout out to all the dog owners out there.
I'm not going to talk about Ohio. All right, Dogecoin sees a surge in transactions as a massive breakout on the horizon. So we're seeing a nice little just activity here, wallet activity. So a rise in one of the major metrics here. And so Into the Block has saying we have a surge in transaction activity. Typically that could precede a price pump there. And so they had 1.93 million transactions last week. This is the most since early July. So I would want a little bit more of a surge, like, maybe a 1 year high, 2 year high, potentially even, like high since 2021. But this uptick is a promising sign for the Doge network out there. So good news for Doge holders out there. It's a few green weeks away from completing its first golden cross in over 4 years. We get a true bull this cycle. His target, 93 cents. Then he has some moon math above $1, 227, 380. I would just be happy with previous all-time high Doge. Just give us 69-cent Doge, and we'll be very, very static off of that. Then we have the winner of the Crypto Influencer of the Year in Singapore. He deleted his X account after bot accusations. And so the winner of the Best Content Creator Award was accused of using bots to manipulate his social metrics. And so they had the KOL Award yesterday at one of Token 2049 side events, and he then shared his success on X. But then the now deleted celebratory post prompted crypto sleuth Zach XBT to point out he seemingly utilizes thousands of bots. Is this the tweet right here? Might even have it right there. Yeah, so Professor Crypto, might be a good idea to lay off the thousands of bots you use on all social media platforms to deceive people into thinking you have an influence. Now, chat, I know we have over 1,000 viewers, maybe even 20,000 viewers. Let me know if you're a human being by hitting that like button, folks. Yeah, if you delete your X account, probably not a good idea. TJ, I actually went and I looked at his X yesterday before it got deleted. Maybe it was 2 days ago, actually. It was suspicious to say the least. I will say there was two types of posts I saw: 1,000+ likes or under 10 likes. Very basically non-existent amount of posts in the middle, where it's like 100 likes. You would not expect that big of a divergence there. So to me, came off a little suspicious there. But yeah, they started trolling this dude. This was the post he won. This is the picture. Oh man, I can't see. I guess because it's deleted. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see the photo. He looked like maybe the type of person that would do that. So yeah, he was also on board Qatar flight to Singapore. It looked like more. Oh, he was on that crazy flight too. So interesting stuff going on with this guy. But folks, that's what we got for the show today. Turn on notifications. Solana, should you sell it for Cardano? I got some pretty insane charts you're going to want to pay attention to, folks. It's been a great pleasure making this show for you, folks. I'm going to go work on what's happening with the Fed watch. Go work on some SWI. We need to know what's happening with SWI. It'll be SWI if you hit that like button on the way out. Appreciate it.